What are we? Oh man. Oh, Lord, I need a massage, people. I don't know if you guys are big on massages. I'm big on massages. And also, I don't like no rub down massage, like the caressing. No, I don't need that. I need you to be walking on my back. If you are doing a massage and you start and you're not walking on my back, babes, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? I did not come here to get rubbed down. I came here to get mashed up so that you can put me back together again. Ah, my back is killing me. Um, but yes, it is Saturday. It is Saturday. I promised you guys that I'm gonna keep up the consistency with the lives on a Saturday. So here we are. The good thing about Saturday is that I don't have to wait till like 2, 4 in the morning. Am I living in Asia? No, babes, I don't live anywhere. I'm homeless, as in without home. So yeah, no, I don't live anywhere. We're gonna be moving in just under 2 weeks, I think. Just under 2 weeks. Would you say Would you say, oh Lord, where's your message gone? Sorry, they blocked it. Oh gosh, you're not allowed to say BLOCKED. They hid your message, and I tried to unhide it because I believe in freedom of speech, and then it disappeared. Hopefully, I'll find it again. Happy belated birthday! Thank you very much, my darling. Where did the message go? Oh, there it is. Would you say you're quite arrogant and lie? You say I've never watched my Apprentice season. I've never watched my Apprentice season. I don't have to lie about watching The Apprentice. I've never watched it because the day before my last episode on The Apprentice was the day I opened my first restaurant. I don't know if you've ever opened a restaurant before, but it can be quite difficult, especially when you're doing it by yourself. And so when you film The Apprentice, at the time I got out, it was July, and I had to have the restaurant open, I think it was the 10th of November. So there was no time to sit and watch television. I don't see why I needed to lie about that. In terms of arrogant, so my vibe isn't for everybody, and that's okay. I'm Jamaican, I should tell you that, and Jamaicans, we're very confident people, and you might interpret confidence as arrogance, and that's completely fine. But I'm not sure why saying that I've never watched my season would mean I was lying. But okay. How did you go on the You're Fired show? So when you're on The Apprentice, you have to go on You're Fired. You're contractually obligated to do the after show. And on the after show, they show you the last episode of that so that you can speak about it, because you film You're Fired before the episode airs on BBC. And when I was in the room when they're showing you the last episode, I fell asleep, and the producers were very upset with me because they felt that I wasn't taking it seriously. But it wasn't that I wasn't taking it seriously, I was just exhausted. So yeah, so I'm not sure, Flowery Fauna, what you're talking about. You're catching alive. Is it Rukia, baby? I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for joining. Um, where Thank you, babes. Thank you for the birthday wishes. What is so funny about this birthday thing is that I thought TikTok was telling me to share like you've been on TikTok for like a year or something. So I just reposted it. I didn't look at what it was, and then all of a sudden people are telling me happy birthday. It was very strange. But thank you very much. Um, why has this scrolled? I'm sorry if I've missed a message and you're new here. I do try my best to answer everything, but it scrolls. Hi, Butterkiss, big up yourself, baby. Sammy, thank you very much, my darling. Are you teaching your daughters Chinese? No, babes. I took them to a Chinese class. So my children are quarter Chinese. I took them to a Chinese class, a Mandarin class, when they're very little. And I realized that there was no way for us to keep it up by just going to this class for like 30 minutes once a week. So I decided that I could not overexert myself and I needed to pick my battles wisely. So no, I'm not teaching them Mandarin. Hi Yaya, how are you, my darling? Yvonne, big up yourself, baby. Um, oh gosh, scrolling. And I'm blind, guys. I should tell you. So if you see me squinting, it's because I can't see nothing. Next time I do a live, maybe I'll bring my glasses because I can't see. Um, where are we at? You're so tan. Thank you. I don't even feel like I'm tanned anymore. This is just how I'm supposed to look. When I look back at like content from the UK and I'm so pale, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I look ill. Um, when sleep come, it come, babes. Them used to call me dropsy because I can drop asleep anytime. You know, I'd be at a session and the speakers, and I will lean against the speakers that are literally vibrating, and I can knock out. I'm always tired. I'm also anemic, so I'm really always tired. I love your exemplary attitude as a Jamaican woman. Wish the world can see more of you. Thank you very much, Sir Bo. Big up yourself, baby. I find your account so inspiring. How can I stop eating less processed foods slowly? I am addicted to Mila, baby. Where is the rest of your message? One thing I would say, my darling, is I think for me, going cold turkey is the answer. Back in the day, once a year, I would do the lemonade diet that got made popular by Beyonce when she was preparing for Dreamgirls. And I'm not saying that you have to do the lemonade diet. I'm just saying I used to cleanse once a year, right? So it's like for 21 days, you're only having like this liquid lemonade concoction. And the reason I used to do it was because I just like the discipline. Sometimes I think that as it relates to food, like I love eating, as you guys know, and I just liked mind over matter and just practicing that in my day to day. And also, I will tell you that even though you're not eating for days, things still are come out. That's all I'm gonna say, right? And you understand. And my brain was just like, oh my gosh, how much stuff is just dying in you for it to still be coming out days later. And so it just used to make me feel better that I was like washing out the system, as you say. Thank you very much, Heart. Big up yourself, baby. Hi April, I love your videos so much. You're a teenage boy. Big up yourself, babes. Why the hell are you watching my content? I can't imagine what you would like about it. It's so funny because I feel like I'm getting more and more teenagers in general, not just boys, but in general. You guys are very sweet. Please live your best life, okay, my darling? Um, where are we at? It's gonna scroll up again because that's what it does. I actually came on here to say one thing that I wanted to share. I think we're living in an age where everybody is super defensive, everyone is getting offended really easily. And don't get me wrong, of course, there are circumstances where you need to hold your own and you need to defend yourself. But what I wanted to share was a funny interaction that I had today. Well, I found it funny. So I shared a video recently of me and my girls eating pide. So it's a Turkish style pizza. And I'm speaking French to them. My girls' first language is French. Yes, they speak English. And a person left a comment today and they said, your children's French isn't that good for their first language. So do they speak better English? And I laughed and I replied and I said, I don't know if their French is better than their English. Maybe they're just behind in both, with a smiley face. And the reason I wanted to share this with you is because, you know, forget social media for a second, but in general, I don't believe that people can offend you if you are truly comfortable with yourself. And I'm not trying to victim blame and say, you know, if people are being malicious, of course they're being malicious and they should be held accountable for that. But you can't control what other people say or do, right? You can only control how you feel and your perception and how you want to move through the world. And a lot of times people will comment, like another lady on a positive note commented, and she goes, I just wanted to say I've never seen anybody reply to comments that are insulting them with such kindness. And I just wanted to say the reason I can do that is because it genuinely doesn't matter to me what strangers on the internet think. And that, like, and I don't mean that arrogantly, as it has been said, apparently I'm arrogant. I just mean that to share with you that in life in general, there are going to be people who agree or disagree or have opinions about you, whether they share them or not. And you just need to be comfortable with you. You know, I talk a lot about parenting on here, and so many people say, oh, you know, my family tease me or they put me down for the way I want to parent. And I just want to say that none of it matters. Like, it doesn't matter what people think of your parenting as long as you know that you have made a conscious decision and that it's the best decision for you. Like, you could tell me anything. You could tell me that my children's French is rubbish. You could tell me that, oh, they're, as we know, I'm developing an ED. Like, you could tell me any negative thing. You could criticize anything. And I genuinely find it amusing. And I just want that for everybody. Not necessarily on social media, because not everybody is out here producing content and posting and sharing their lives. But I just mean in your own, like, circle of life, if people people are nitpicking at you and you feel like it is chipping away at your spirit, I would really encourage you to take the time and just get more comfortable with yourself. Because once you're comfortable with yourself, nobody can say nothing. Them can't chat to you. It just won't affect you. And that is kind of like what I wanted my Saturday message to be. Hi, I'm late. How did you learn French? How many years have you been studying? Dean, big up yourself, baby. So I did French in A level, but I that was when I was 17. I didn't speak French again for how many years now? I had the girls 32. So I didn't speak French again for about 15 years. And then when I was pregnant, I decided to study French, as in by myself, just teach myself so that I can speak exclusively French to my children. Sorry, it's scroll gone, and clearly I was talking for too long, but I'm gonna try and get back to what you guys were saying. I'm very hot. I turned off the AC because I was very cold. I know I'm very hot. I can't have like a consistent temperature. Lord of His mercy. Okay, scrolling. Ah! Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm the same way, so I know I'm not sure which feeling, but I'm glad you agree. Not session. Do people not say session anymore? I'm very old. I'm very sorry. Menstrual cycle talk with your live and tips you should do. Butterkiss, I'm not sure what you're asking. Marissa, big up yourself, baby. Thank you. Alma, how are you, my darling? Tia, Miss April, yes, babes. I'm anemic as well, so we can get tired really quickly. Babe, I'm tired all the time. Like, tired all the time. Coucou, Miley. Quelles sont les différences de personnalité des filles? Elles sont très, très, très différentes. Une fille, c'est exactement comme moi. Exactement, la personnalité, c'est comme moi. Elle veut faire les choses précisément. Elle veut faire les choses exactement que tu as dit. Et l'autre fille, elle est un petit peu plus... Qu'est-ce que tu peux dire? Un petit peu plus artistique, un petit peu plus, comme ci, comme ça, un petit peu plus laisser-faire, oui. J'adore les différences parce que pour moi, c'est très, très important, et spécialement pour les jumelles, qu'elles ont d'espace pour être uniquement, oui. Parce que beaucoup de personnes avec les jumelles ou jumeaux, ça, c'est l'identité entière, juste jumelles, juste jumeaux. En même temps, les personnes a dit pas les prénoms différents, juste les jumelles. Et pour moi, ça c'est très très dangereux. Tu étais une Miss Jamaïque, c'est pour celle-là que tu es belle. Merci beaucoup, mais j'étais Mademoiselle Jamaïque très 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 longtemps. Where we at? Went shopping Thursday at the market instead of the supermarket. Big up yourself, babes. Princess Barb, I love to hear it. You know how I feel about a market, baby. Ghost Tiger, I know you're all about healthy eating. What's your opinion on pork? My cousins eat it. So a lot of people ask me this. I do eat pork. It's not a protein that I eat every day. I appreciate that it has been tied to the C word. A lot of people think that it is impure. I don't share those views about it being impure. Last time I checked, like the chicken them do the whole place and it don't look very clean. I know that pigs don't have sweat glands, and there's obviously a lot of religions don't eat pork, but yeah, I occasionally eat some pork and it tastes very good. A piece of jerk pork, babes, very nice. Do you have any self-study tips? Completely immerse yourself in a language. You cannot learn a language by going to a class for 30 minutes a week. So change your phone, change what you're listening to, find a friend that you only speak to them in that language, speak the language day in and day out, and you really have to be disciplined, and then you can learn a language, I believe. Hi, I'm in my 20s in Toronto. Do you think you'll ever come and visit? I would love to visit Toronto. There's a lot of places I'd love to visit. Toronto is definitely on there, but I have no idea when, how, or why I would be there. No problem, my darling Yaya. Millions, would you do farming? Oh, I would love. I would love to be able to grow my own produce, but I cannot even keep rosemary alive. When I was living in Jamaica, I used to have a massive basil plant. Like I was able to keep the basil alive. During COVID, I had tomatoes. I was able to keep those alive. But in general, babes, I KIL everything. I think I need to get land and get someone to just help me because I'll do the cooking and them can do the growing. Jessica, thank you very much, my darling. Have you always been do healthy? Were you raised like this? Really great question. So I was never really into like fast food. When I was younger, I was allowed to eat fast food on a Friday when I was a teenager. And I think I just wanted to be with my friends more than the fast food itself, if that made sense. I've always been into food, like I've always been into cooking, I've always been into going to restaurants. In terms of my way of thinking about food around my children, that was definitely post weaning. So when it was coming time to wean them, I was like, oh my gosh, your insides are never going to be this pure again. I have to get it right. Before that, I was kind of doing what everybody does, which is eat based on what you feel for. And I realized that we don't really eat, people don't think, oh, what does my body need in terms of nutrition, and then choose what to eat accordingly. We tend to eat whatever we're like craving, or what we want a little taste of. So there has definitely been a switch since motherhood. You are amazing. Thank you very much, Cece. um Scrolling through, I can't believe there's green adults hating children. I can't believe that there's green adults hating children. Oh, green. Sorry, babes. It took me a second. It took me a second. But yes, there are crazy people out there in the world. It's like a present, a bad one, but you don't need to accept it. 100%. Are you married? Just being curious. No, babes. I've never been married. Why are you proposing? Sammy, big up yourself, baby. Ramona, how are you, babes? I feel like it's been forever. We are doing very, very well. The mosquito them might bite me up, but other than that, we are doing good. Um, would you, oh, we did the farming. Some people are just bitter about their own lives. So honestly, when them say hurt people, it's a real thing. And again, coming back to like parenting, I realize like you have to think bigger picture. Even when you're feeling tired, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling like all of the things that could potentially bring you into like a negative space, you just owe it to your children to do better. I shared a post recently because I saw this lady cursing at her child, and I know that for some people cursing isn't a big deal. I curse in my day-to-day life, believe it or not. A lot of people online think that I would never curse, which I consider to be a compliment. But yes, my mouth dirty. But I do believe in a time and a place, and I do believe that it is age appropriate behavior. But cursing at children to me is just, it's mind boggling. And the number of people that seem to think that this is acceptable. But I also think that the environments that we're raised in really do frame our reality. Like they really do. And not everybody has necessarily the capacity or the time to kind of pause for a second, take a bird's eye view, and evaluate the situation. Not everything that we grew up with, we need to repeat, right? And of course, take the gems, take the things that did work for us really, really well and adopt those, but we can also let go some of the things. And it really disturbed me, to be honest with you, because I just think that this normalization of speaking to children any kind of way just made me super uncomfortable. Scrolling back through, you agree with me, Dr. Nadine? I'm not sure what you agree with, babes, but I'm glad. As a teenager about to start adulthood, I need advice, please. Babes, where are all these teenagers coming from? That is a very generalized statement, baby. Do you have something a little bit more specific? She doesn't really let anything, I just don't. Especially because, like, the idea that you can let strangers bother you is bizarre. Today, for example, I had a post about a beach. A post about a beach. It is not even controversial. And this person has jumped on and said, like, when did they let the monkeys out? I was like, what is going on? I'm literally just talking about visiting a beach that I find beautiful. And then it became this really, I don't know if you're allowed to say racist, but it became really, really, really that way, as in talking about the fact that my people have a smaller prefrontal cortex and we don't have impulse control and all of these things. And honestly, I just took a screenshot and I sent it to the fam chat and I was dying of laughter. And some people might think that that's weird, but again, you're a stranger on the internet, babes, and you are taking the time to constantly leave comments that are apparently supposed to tear me down. I don't even know you. How is French their first language though? Is there no, there's no French connection. So I've only ever spoken French to my children from they were born. And so I used to have au pairs from they were 9 months old. So they used to hear me and the au pair speak French. And so in their world, their main language was French. And so that's why they learned French. Children have the ability to learn all languages, babes. It is the adults that are the problem in the room. Where are we at? Dean, I see you all over, babes. All over. Oh gosh, this thing gone scroll through again, but it's not my fault. It's like every time I have to have a short interlude for me to be able to scroll back up. Oh Lord. Where are we going? Why does it do this? It's like it doesn't want me to answer. Is that why people don't answer comments? Because it's just too difficult. Why French? I love your content so much. Thank you very much, babes. Really great question. It was going to be French or Spanish. I did both at high school, and to be honest with you, I can't tell you why it was French. I just basically decided French. It could have been Spanish, and sometimes I think maybe it should have been Spanish. I think more people are speaking Spanish, at least in the region of Jamaica and the Caribbean. More people are speaking Spanish, but it was French, and I'm confident that they'll be able to add more languages because they have two. They have shown a keen interest in Spanish, so every so often they ask me to do some Spanish with them. They count in Spanish randomly by themselves. It's very bizarre. But I've thought about getting a Spanish au pair to kind of bring that in, but I just want the French to be a little bit more solid. At the minute, I'm having to remind them a lot to translate from English to French. And so I would be a little bit worried about then bringing in a third language that also I can't speak. So yeah, but it could have been anything, to be fair. Can you check my message that I sent you? Okay, baby. I'm here at work trying to sneak in a little bit of the live. Baby girl, big up yourself. Were you not sneaking in a bit of the live the last time you were at a prenatal meeting? Why you always sneak in the lives, babes? I hope you're doing well, my darling. I hope pregnancy is just treating you with kindness. So I speak French the best to my ability, but I'm not fluent. What did you do with unhealthy pregnancy cravings? So, a lot of times when I was pregnant, I was vomiting a lot. At one point, I had to go to the hospital. I had to be on an IV. I was vomiting 6 to 8 times a day. I had a little bit of reprieve from weeks 21 to 23. And I was in Jamaica at that time, so I was very grateful to be eating home food. But outside of week 21 to 23, I was vomiting violently. And a crazy thing, my craving was crumpets and cheddar cheese. I do love cheese. And it's funny because the girls do love cheese. I don't let them eat a lot of it for a few reasons. We don't eat that much dairy, and also cheese can be quite salty. I just think that whilst there's like protein and there are obviously good things in cheese, I think there are better choices. And but I don't know if maybe their love for cheese came from my crumpet and cheese issue when I was pregnant. I always say to people, I would never have worried about my cravings as when I was pregnant. I believe you just eat what you want to eat. And I used to exercise as much as possible. I was working throughout my pregnancy when possible. It was COVID, so obviously the restaurants were closed, but when the restaurants were open, I was working. But I was not worried about cravings or not indulging in the craving. And personally, if you're pregnant, I would not tell you to worry about it. You're pregnant. Eat what your body wants you to eat, and like deal with the repercussions later. Thoughts on Guyanese food. I don't know anything about Guyanese food. I only know about Guyanese rum, babes. Big up Eldorado rum. Eldorado 12 year was the first rum that I fell in love with neat. Don't tell the Jamaicans. Vous parlez très bien français, votre accent ressemble en belge. Merci beaucoup, Laurence. Je ne sais pas pourquoi mon accent c'est bien, mais aussi quand je parle avec les Français, beaucoup de fois, ils ont pensé que je suis française, mais je ne sais pas pourquoi. Do you have any plans to take the girls to France? I would love to take the girls to France. So I was considering coming to England to film a project this summer, and they didn't hire me for the project. So I'm not coming to England. I told you guys, you only see me in England if money I make. And so basically, if I had done that project, I was going to then take the girls to France during that time. But I don't have any plans to be in Europe anytime soon. OOOG, big up yourself, baby. Thank you very much. I asked Instagram if I should go natural or do a design one. And you know, I always have to represent and keep the Jamaican vibes, babes. I'm glad that you like them. I will keep them on for a little while. Yes, I know that gel is toxic. It's not great for you, 100%. I tend to do my nails like this maybe once or twice a year. It's okay. What did you do? Oh, we asked that. Mute, can't hear. You can't hear me. I'm doing all of this talking and people can't hear. Lord God. Exactly, Trenton here and there. I don't know what that means. Sorry. I don't know what I was talking about. Thank you very much. Honestly, I lie out in the sun like this every morning in my birthday suit for at least 20 minutes. It just makes me feel good with the sun on my skin. Thank you, Aisha. I'm glad that you can hear. I'm not sure if some people can't hear. I haven't changed anything. Where are we at? I followed you ever since you did a show with my mom. We love you. Who is your mom? Big up yourself, babes. Big up mommy too. Tips for growing out natural hair. Babe, I've never relaxed my hair. When I was 13, I begged my dad to relax my hair. Begged him. I wanted to be like all the cool kids. And he said, you have good hair. Yes, I appreciate saying good hair. You know, what the hell does that mean? But him said, I give you good hair, you don't need to relax it. And I'm really glad that my dad didn't let me relax my hair because I'm not a hair person and the thing would have dropped out. So I don't have any tips. I'm very sorry. Maybe like I would just chop it off, maybe. I don't know, it depends. If you have a cute round head, chop it off. If you have a long head like mine, I'd reconsider. Because if I had a cute little round head, best believe I would have a bald head. I would chop it off long time. But babes, this little big nose can't really handle them things there. And look at the head. It's like an egg. Can't handle the chop off thing. Jody, big up yourself, baby. Jamaican girl, whereabouts are you? I'm in Indonesia. Where are we at? Orlando, how are you, my darling? Joy Sue, thank you very much. How do you keep your teeth so white? Everybody asks about white teeth. I just brush them, babes. I just brush them and I think they're white. And also, I think the lighting helps keep them white. Although, to be honest with you, I did, if you've been following me, you've heard the story before, I apologize in advance. But I did go to Hungary to follow my sister because she did some dental work and I wanted to get my teeth whitened. So I did the assessment and the dentist said that your teeth are so white that we will not whiten them. I was like, oh my God, thank you. But yeah, I just brush them. I don't have like a secret teeth routine. I feel like there's a routine for everything now, but no, I don't have no teeth routine. Where are we at? What's your most controversial opinion you are willing to share? Oh gosh, babes, I'm willing to share all of my controversial opinions. I feel like I'm controversial even without trying to be controversial. Controversially, I don't want to have children after the age of 40. Also, controversially, I think that men need to think about the age that they have kids. Long gone are the times where the sperm is fine at any age. Over 50, I would really think about what you're doing with your life. A man who is 48 was talking to me and he was like, oh, would you have children? I said, yeah, but not with you because you are reaching 50. Are you trying to have some sort of special needs? On purpose. That might be controversial. I don't want to set myself up for that. But yeah, you can ask me anything controversial and I'm always happy to reply. Do you ever fast from food? What are your favorite food travel experiences? Do you homeschool? Babes, I was literally just talking about this earlier in this live that I used to fast once a year because I think that the discipline and to give my body rest is a good idea. I haven't fasted since I was pregnant, so that's a long time. And it's mainly because of my girls. I'm not sure that they would understand it, to be honest with you. And I'm really conscious of the example that I'm setting. So for example, I never used to eat breakfast and one day, my daughter, when she was about 2, she asked me why is she eating breakfast and I'm not eating breakfast. And from that day, I was like, cool, I'm eating breakfast as well, because I just didn't want them thinking that, we're skipping meals or anything like that, especially for girl children. When we hear that by the age of 6, they're thinking about losing weight, I'm like, yeah, not my picnic. So I haven't fasted since then. My favorite travel experiences, oh, there's a few, babes. I've shared recently the safari that we went to in South Africa this year. Incredible. If you've never been on a safari, please put it on your list. It is an incredible experience. You will never go to a zoo again. And these lodges are luxurious, babes. They are luxurious. And the one that we went to, I was living my best life. The food was incredible. The chalets were beautiful. It was just amazing. So that's definitely one of them. I would say seeing Similan Islands in Thailand, still the most stunning beach I've ever seen. Definitely up there on the list. Yeah, we've had a lot of food related experiences, but yeah, I like going out and searching for these beautiful islands. I think that would definitely be up there as well. Homeschooling, yes, I do homeschool my children. Um, where are we at? C'est moi la French connexion. Hi Clayton, found your page 2 months ago, and I've totally changed your perspective on raising children. Clayton, big up yourself, babes. What have I changed your perspective on? Oh Lord, it's about to scroll up into Woi Woi. Why it can't just stay with the vibes, and so that I can read Wagwan. This is just okay. I'm trying to go back up to Clayton. Can't ever find Clayton comment. But we're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're going. Bear with me. 1 second. I think we're nearly there. That's what he said. No, I'm joking, guys. I'm tired. Forgive me. Whatever I say, just forgive me. Where are we at? And I can't see. I'm blind and I can't see. And the thing I scroll and we can't find nothing. Okay, it won't even let me scroll all the way. So I'm sorry if I've missed your comment. It's not me. It like won't let me go up further. Continue making your content. Thank you very much, baby. Just Nikki, are you still planning on sharing the French learning tips? Yes, I am. Okay, as tomorrow, I promise you, I'm gonna start with my French learning tips. I say this every time I come on this backside phone. Tomorrow, I will start. It's just that I'm not sure if it's going to be that helpful, but I'll try. And just Nikki, let me know if it is helpful so that you can just stop me from adding more to the content ladder. Where are we at? I love your parenting so much. Thank you very much, my darling. Will you ever send them to school? It is possible. I was considering it the other day. If I find a school that aligns with my vibes, then I'm not like anti-school as a whole. I just think that I'm a little bit particular. When are you introduce sugar to your children? I'm thinking closer to 7. Although having said that, I did say that I was going to probably introduce them to television at 5, because in the 1950s, I believe, the average age that the first child saw TV was 5 years old. 1950s or 1970s. Don't quote me on that here. So I was like, okay, cool. So maybe like when they get to 5, I'll start doing television. And then we got to 5 and it just never felt right. Like, we're still enjoying our homeschooling, our activities. It just would feel forced. So although I'm leaning towards 7 for sugar, it's not cast in stone. I don't really think of things like as exact dates. It's more about vibe and energy and development and how I feel. So we'll see. I need potty training tips. Babes, Aisha, let me just tell you, potty training was one of the hardest things I ever did. Ever. And I mean ever. I don't mean just with parenting. I mean ever. I'm not being like dramatic. It was hard because I had to control my emotions all the time. When you're peeing, like I've taken you to the potty, you didn't want to do nothing, and we sit on the couch, and then you pee up the place, and I have to clean it and pretend that there's nothing wrong with your pee pee, when really I just want to say, babes, go on the potty. But clearly that would not be productive. So I had to use a lot of my inside voice, a lot of breathing. But the good news is I quarantined us in one room for 3 days. And after those 3 days, thank goodness it passed. So my advice is breathe, keep the vibe positive, and stay in one room with the potty for 3 days. I was in that one room, just me and the girls. We did not move. If them needed to eat, it was in that one room. Like everything was in this one room. That's the advice I have for you. I'm 44 and I was homeschooled till I was 13. Then I went to boarding school and my daughter's 23 years old. I homeschooled my daughter until she was 8. Oh, you wish you never. Oh, could you share a little bit more about you wish you when you say you wish you never sent her to school or you wish you never homeschooled? Please share, babes. C'est bien que les filles apprennent le français. Elles pourront faire leur étude en France ou anti-française. Oui, mais aussi pour moi, la langue, c'est très importante parce que je pense que tu es plus, tu es plus tolérant quand tu sais notre culture. Et aussi pour moi, c'est très, très important pour le cerveau. Je pense c'est très facile, et spécialement quand tu parles anglais, pour oublier que les personnes qui parlent une langue, ça c'est la minorité. La majorité de personnes dans le monde parlent plus dans une langue. I'm very hot. Faith, thank you very much, baby. I don't know, scrolling through. My mom made me learn Spanish and French when I was younger. That is one thing I'm so grateful for. Big up, mommy, babes. Yes, you were. Life is busy, but I have to sneak it in every now and then. Baby girl, big up yourself every time. Stan, you are so refreshing. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you very much for being kind, baby. Amia, I genuinely love the way you live your perspective on life and the way you raise your baby girls. Thank you very much, my darling. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. If the girls get sick, do you believe in modern medicine? 100%. I don't know why people think that I would not believe in modern medicine. So my thing on medicine, just to be clear, is I don't, for example, maybe it's because I grew up in Jamaica, but babe, we have a tea for everything. So if you're sick, yes, I'm putting on some ginger, some garlic. Like if you're stuffy, I'm going to grate some garlic. Like I'm gonna definitely go to natural things first. But 100%, babes, when the natural things have reached their limit in terms of my repertoire, yes, baby love, we're going to the doctor. So I've been to the doctor a handful of times for my children. And most times, like one of them had a little rash on her arm when she was very little. And I went to the doctor and they told me what was wrong. They gave me some medication. I just put the medication to one side and then went and did my own research based on what was wrong. And I was able to get rid of this rash without having to use this medication. So whilst modern medicine isn't necessarily my first point of call for minor things like a cold or you're a bit stuffy, I'm not anti-modern medicine at all. I wish I never sent her to school as she could learn and understand more being homeschooled. Most teachers are not as passionate today due to the worldly struggles, unfortunately. Babes, I agree with you. And teachers make or break the entire experience. I've had a handful of amazing teachers, some of whom I still speak with today, however many years later. And I definitely agree that teachers, unfortunately, we don't respect the profession enough. And when you don't respect a profession, that then trickles down into people's behavior. Oh, I think I just got BLOCKE'd again on the live. I don't know why this happens to me every time. I don't know what I said to offend TikTok. But anyway, moving on. Yes, I'm a single mother. Maybe for carnival. Maybe for carnival. What's happening for carnival? Nails are cute. Thank you very much, babes. I can hear you. I'm glad you can hear me. Oh, you can too. Oh, everyone else can hear me. Ghost Tiger, I don't know what's wrong with you, why you can't hear me. You are my inspo for raising my daughter screen free. Thank you very much, my darling. It can be done. Hi, I don't even know what to call you, babe. We're going to call you Symbols. How are you? It's so refreshing seeing how you are parenting. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Janet. Big up yourself, baby. You are too funny. I don't even know what jokes I was making, but I'm glad that you found them amusing. Hair is a combination of genetics and solid care routine. The hair thing, I agree with you on the genetics thing. In terms of the solid care routine, I wish that I could have a solid care routine, but I'm not disciplined enough. My head shape the exact same as yours. Oh, your head shape, babe, don't chop it off. If your head is this shape, babe, don't chop it off. And I say that with love. Okay, my darling? No coffee. No, babes, I drink coffee. I had a coffee this morning. I have liquor rum in there too, you know. There's this place that I order coffee from. And obviously, the girls just think it's normal coffee. But babes, that coffee is spiked. And it just, ooh, liquor. Preps in the morning. Yes, I drink coffee. It just clearly doesn't stain my teeth. I know some people who drink coffee only with a straw so that it doesn't stain their teeth, if that's helpful. What toothpaste? So I use a toothpaste called Allodent, I believe it's called. It is a fluoride-free toothpaste. Vaccines. So I shared a post today with my views on vaccines. Please go check it out. Oh, something definitely just fly by my head. Which country are you in? Indonesia. I haven't watched your videos in a while, and I remember you were in Dubai. Hope you're safe. Thank you very much, baby. I left Dubai probably 3 days after everything broke out. So we are safe. Thank you very much for checking in. How did you learn French? Duolingo, podcasts, reading children's books, and just committing, basically. Men can have kids up to 70. I'm not saying that men cannot have kids, babes, up to 70. I'm saying that I don't think that they should. The sperm quality is not the same throughout a man's life, believe it or not. So most research that is done in the world will often come from a man's perspective because it is funded by men. It is only, if you look at like research, especially like as we're getting more into modern times, you're getting more female research because that perspective is changing. But ultimately, back in the day, it was really only men caring about what we're researching because they were funding it. And so, as you can imagine, men weren't sitting around trying to find research about the fact that their sperm isn't as great as they get old because they wouldn't want to say that. But we are now getting more data, and the data shows that no, men's sperm does not stay consistent throughout their life either. So I'm not saying they can't have kids at 70. I'm saying I don't want to have children with old deformed sperm. That's a personal choice. But by all means, I think that live and let live. And also, I think we should think about the age of our children. Like, I would not, I'm thinking more and more about my dad getting older, and I'm in my 30s. And that I still don't know how I'm going to handle it because I'm very, very close to my dad. I would not want to be thinking about that in my 20s. And obviously, the older you are when you have children, not just your physical like self and fitness, but again, I just wouldn't want my child to be worrying about my health and well-being when they're in their 20s. Vendetta, I'm not sure what that face is for. Mystery Lady, I don't know why you're laughing. Shin, I don't know what I said. That was funny, but I'm glad that you guys find it amusing. When will you introduce sugar? I'm thinking closer to 7. Oh, wow, babes. Zoe, you're really on the one question. I promise you guys, I come to every single comment. Everyone. It just takes me a little bit of time. You don't need to put it 6 times. I think there was a study that said women who have kids at an older age reduces the chance of autism. Is that true? For men, it's the opposite. Let's just be clear. Men over 50, it increases the chances. But I don't know I haven't seen any studies about women's getting older and reducing autism. That's very interesting. Oh, don't quote me. Babes, yeah, I make some big claim. What do you think is the ideal age for marriage and kids? I don't think there's an ideal age. I think that it should be more about the relationship than an age. But I don't think of things in terms of age anymore. I think when I was like a teenager, I had these very clear timestamps. And then as you get older, you realize that life doesn't work like that. What's your opinion on seed oils? So I know that a lot of people say that there's nothing wrong with seed oils. Personally, I'm not using them. I appreciate that when we go to restaurants, they are definitely using them because they are going to give the restaurant higher margins. As someone who had restaurants, I completely understand that. Sorry. Again? No. Oh, sorry. I completely understand that when you have a restaurant, your bottom line is the most important thing. And so I get that when I eat out, I'm probably consuming them, but I don't consume them in my house. Very, very true, Mystery Lady. I don't know what very true is. Thank you very much, Mimo. I'm very hot. Lord of his mercy. I went to Mombasa, Kenya. Very true. What was happening in Kenya? Kenya's on my list, babes. Shy, all he can't stop getting is phone out when he's playing with them, and they all just end up watching. Shy, babes, I must have missed the first part when it blocked me from going up. What are we talking about, baby? Oh my gosh, Zoe, please. Antoinette, big up yourself, babes. Shy, his phone. Oh Lord, it's scroll and gone through. Let me see if I can scroll and come back. Ah, no. What is happening? Okay, Shy, I'm back with you. His phone, and it's so frustrating because it actually really affects my oldest behavior. From what I'm gathering, somebody is around your children taking their phone out all the time, but I need to understand who is the somebody. How was your school visit? Babes, it hasn't happened yet. I need to fly to a new country to get to the school visit. But thank you for asking, and I will do an update, I promise. Antoinette, thank you very much, baby. Lucy, how are you, my darling? Flutter, I don't know why you're laughing, but I'm glad you're laughing. Any tips for learning and speaking? Just Nikki, we just spoke about this now, or is this a repeat question? I don't know what is going on. How did you learn French? Flutter, let me know if you need me to answer again. I think I've already answered it. Thank you very much, Audrey. Big up yourself, baby. You're the fourth of the ninth. Very easy for me to remember. Um, where are we at? Lagging? Oh, it's lagging for you too. I don't know what is going on between internet and sound. I don't know what is happening. Very sorry. I don't know what to do about it. Technology is clearly not on my side. Khadija, thank you very much. I'm not happy with my hair, but that's for another day. I'm glad that you like it. I always say I don't want to have an old baby. Signing with E, big up yourself, babes. There are sometimes born with, yeah, it increases the, yeah. It's just not something that I would want to set up myself for, but I completely understand that for some people, their life requires that they make certain decisions later on. It's their dad. Oh gosh, their dad. See, I was gonna be like, just cut them off. That's easy. Dad is a bit more difficult. So I don't understand. Have you spoken to dad about why you don't want him on his phone around the bubbles and, in a really cool, calm, using data? You said that it affects your oldest child's behavior. Have you expressed this? Have we tried communication? Have we tried communication in different forms? So not just speaking, but some people hear things better when it's written. Sometimes sending them articles. Screen time is a big topic at the minute. So there's a lot of articles to go around. Maybe just send a few of them as examples. I always say it's easier to get people on your side than fight against them. And especially when it's your fiance, babes, you better get him on your side. Oh, I don't know why it's lagging. Should I come off? Let me come off and come on. Are you keeping up to date with the... So I'm not keeping up to date in terms of from a food crisis perspective, but I was saying to my friend that the price of everything is just going to go up, right? Because that's what happens when you have these kind of global crises. So I've been trying to pay attention from that perspective. I don't plan my flights very far in advance. So I don't want to get stuck in a place and then just be like, oh my gosh, the price of the flights are just so high and those types of things. It's all a mess, I think, with what is currently going on in the world, unfortunately. And again, the poorest will suffer. That's all I'll say. The poorest will suffer, which is just always very, very unfortunate. But it feels a little like we're living in a movie. Like, it doesn't really feel very real, If you told me that this was the plot for a movie, I'd be like, babes, rein it in. You're kind of pushing it a bit too far. And yet here we are. This is real life. April and her toops. Hi, my darling. How are you, babes? I live in the UK and I grow my vegetables and dry goods. I have bulk bought. Unfortunately, the poor was, yeah. It's amazing that you grow your vegetables. How are you growing things in the UK? Like, what grows? Potato? Do things grow? Thank you very much, Shai. Big up yourself, baby. I don't know if this connection is any better. I don't know what's happening before, but yeah. But having said that, I think the current sort of world politics is very concerning. And again, I feel like there's a part of me that you have to be well informed enough that you're not walking around with your head in the sand and you're completely ignorant. But at the same time, there are certain things that I feel like I can't absorb all the time, because then it just mash up my spirit. And I know that that is a very privileged position to be in, because for some people it's their everyday life, right? They can't just turn off from it. But sometimes I also need to protect my sanity and the things that are happening in the world. It's a bit bizarre. Yes, it's so surreal. The pace of escalation is the scariest thing. Every day there's something new. God protects us all. Could not agree more, babes. Could not agree more. I sent him loads of stuff about screen time. He's in denial about it affecting her behavior. Mainly because he leaves me to deal. I hate flies. Why is there a fly on me? He leaves me to deal with it. Okay, so if you have tried everything yourself, from the writing, written communication, speaking, sending articles, etc., at this point, something is wrong with my connection again. I'm gonna give up. I don't understand what's going on. But Shy, I just want to say, at this point, I would recommend bringing in a third party. Bring in like a neutral person that both of you respect, that both of you will listen to, and have it that way. Because sometimes the messenger, we need to change up the messenger. So maybe just get in that third person that can deliver the message in a way that it will be heard, but try and stay calm, keep the vibes right, and still swim together, because upstream is just hard or near impossible. Out of interest, babes, is this something that you had spoken about before you had children? Behavior is down to an individual seeking attention, or the environment is a trigger. So true, get a third party. Yes, I think that getting a third party can be helpful, as long as the third party knows their role and acts responsibly without like making the situation worse. Then I think that it's always helpful. For me, your live is streaming without any cuts. Maybe it's her connection. I'm glitching. I think it's on TikTok that I'm glitching. So I'm on two. I'm on YouTube and TikTok, and it seems that the TikTok vibe is glitching, and I don't know what to do anymore. I came out, came back in. I have no idea. Which sports are you considering putting your girls in apart from swimming? Great question. So they're currently doing gymnastics. They asked to do gymnastics by themselves. I don't know where them get it from. And we are also, I'm gonna get them back into tennis. So those are like the two main things. One of my daughters really loves any kind of ball sports, so I would also like to get her in that. But it's a part of the reason why by the end of this year we do have to stop traveling. You're gonna move to YouTube? Is it really that bad on TikTok? I'm very sorry, guys. I don't know why. Because on YouTube apparently it's fine. I don't know why this is fighting progress. But a part of the reason that we have to stop traveling by the end of the year is because I believe that when my children start to get closer to 6 years old, it's important for them to have that stability with extracurricular activities. And so I think not so much from a schooling perspective, because we can do that anywhere, but when you're trying to do the sports and the other activities and you're moving all the time, it's just impossible to maintain the level of progress that I want for them. Opinions on seed oils, I said this before, say it again, they're not for me. I appreciate that for some people they don't make a difference. There's apparently some data that says there's nothing wrong with them. I've read a little bit about seed oils, and the way they came about it seemed to be another way for people to make money rather than about our health. And so I'd rather stick to extra virgin olive oil for most of my cooking. If I need to cook at a like higher temperature, or if I happen to deep fry something, which is very occasionally, I would use a peanut oil. I also occasionally use coconut oil. Just in general, and I'm a big fan of butter. Butter was demonized, but it was demonized for capitalism, not because butter is bad for you. Where are we at? What country will you guys settle in? In an ideal world, if I have enough money, babes, I will go home. I'll go to Jamaica. Jamaica is my happy place, but it is not my cheap place. Apart from that, I'm not sure. Love how you parent and teach your children about food. Thank you very much, Shanice. Do you agree with how your parents raised you, and do you implement it with your kids? So I grew up very privileged. And for that, I am extremely grateful. Both my parents were workaholics. My mother left me when I was a teenager, so I don't have a relationship with her. I don't know anything about her. I don't know where she lives. I've lived more of my life without her than with her. So from that perspective, I do not plan on imparting that same effect on my children. In terms of my relationship with my dad, I have a very good relationship with my dad. He completely supports everything that I do. But we all know nobody's perfect, and so there are definitely things that I've chosen to do differently, but in all honesty, I can only do them differently because of my dad's support. And I think that that is what legacy means that the generation after you will always be better than the generation before. One of the things that I don't do as well as my dad is financially. My dad, when he had me when he was 40, and he has always provided in a way that I'm not in a position to do so. So I'm definitely playing catch up, and God help me, I'm trying, babes, I'm trying. But for the most part, I grew up very, very well. Um, Seed oils causes inflammation. Personally, I use organic cold pressed olive oil, coconut, and pure butter. That's how my body can digest. I completely agree with you. Ghee also, for some people that don't know, is basically butter, just liquid. So I think that butter has been demonized for the wrong reasons, and a lot of people think that butter is bad for you. I don't agree that butter is bad for you. Um, oh, scrolling up, sorry. How do you navigate outside influences on your children? I communicate. My children always know my why. They don't ever get like I told you so vibes. And also I keep the outside influences at a minimum. I've said this before. Even when we were living in the UK, there are certain people that weren't allowed around my children. You can be my friend. That doesn't mean that you're good for my kids, and that's okay. If people ever cross the boundary, for example, eating things that I don't think should be eaten in front of my kids when they're like 2 years old. Now that they're older, you can explain the differences. You can explain that there are things that other people eat that we don't eat. But when they're very, very young, we needed to lead by example. And so if you couldn't do that, for example, if you were on your phone around my children, then you could no longer be around my children. I was very strict. You might realize that holding on to my boundaries doesn't bother me at all. So that's how I would navigate. Hi, babes. Do you mind giving me a follow? I'm just a singer trying to grow my followers. Babes, good luck to growing your followers. I can't sing for life or money, so I completely respect the vibes. My skin is flawless. Thank you very much. I don't think it's flawless. I think you guys love is blind, but I'll take the compliment anyway. I totally agree that butter isn't bad for you. Where has the beauty been your whole life? Which one to big up yourself, babes? Um, where we at? Policing people being on their phone is a little crazy. That's fine. You can think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy. Why are you at my house to sit on your phone? Like, it's a social environment. You've come to my house to see me and my children, but you want to sit on your phone. I think that's crazy. I think that you should stay wherever you want to stay and be on your phone. I think it's really strange when people come to restaurants. You see, I used to see it all the time in my restaurants. You'll have a couple, they've come out to eat, and they're just sitting like this on their phone. Why? Stay home and order in. I just think it's weird. So by all means, you can think that I'm crazy. I think that we're all crazy depending on where we're standing in terms of perspective. You're right, Leah. I'm not sure which part I'm right about, but thank you. Daisy, big up yourself. I'm not sure if you answered this, but do they just see your phone recording as your job and not a device? So Martina, I am very rarely on my phone or my children. There's a joke in my family: do not call me if you are, stranded, or like you have one call left to make, because I'm not good. Even today, people are calling to try and say happy birthday, and I didn't see because I was with my children. So for the most part, I don't have my phone around them. I will take a video or I will take a picture of them, and I will go and get it for that purpose. If you, for example, came to our house and you were sitting on your phone at dinner, my children will tell you no phones at the dinner table. They're very clear. They don't have issues telling people the rules. They love the rules. I think it makes them feel a little bit more adult to be able to tell you the rules. So when I do take my phone out, they know that it's for a specific purpose. I've said this before, but like, people are like, oh, you say don't have screen time at the dinner table, and then you've taken the content. Our food, like our meals, take 2 to 3 hours each meal. When I take content for a video that is a minute long, accumulatively, that content might be 3 minutes on my phone, right? 3 minutes out of 2 to 3 hours doesn't bother me. It just doesn't bother me. Um, so yeah, they are aware that I have to use my phone to do certain things. Hi, sweet paws. Big up yourself, baby. It's so rude when people are on their phones. I think so. I think it's weird. I think we have accepted it as normal, but I think it's weird. Why am I coming to spend time, even with an adult, forget children? Why am I coming to spend time with a friend to sit on my phone and have my gaze here? I should just stay home. Are your restaurants still open? No, baby. I closed everything in December 2024, and then that's when our travels started. Scrolling through, what are your religious beliefs? I'm not religious. I respect religion. I think that it really serves people. I think that we need to bring religion back in terms of as a society, because I think that for many people, religion was their source of morality. And as we have seen the decrease of religious beliefs, I think we have also seen the decrease of morality among society. But I'm not religious. I wasn't raised religious. I believe that I adhere to some of the lessons without perhaps the religious aspect tacked on, but also I'm not educated enough on religion. I admire people's faith. I think it's a very powerful thing that I sometimes wish I had and could share, but I'm not religious. Being on the phone is disrespect when with company. Today, humans are so engrossed with the screen 24/7. I bought my daughter's her first mobile phone in her 5 years in secondary school. Big up yourself, baby. I think creating with a screen time is very different to consuming screen time. I think so too. A lot of people, their criticism is, oh, but you're on your phone. And again, I've never claimed not to be on my phone. When I say that my children are screen free, my children are screen free. But also, I think the thing that people don't like to talk about when it comes to screens is that you have to be disciplined as the adult, right? There is no way that you can raise your children screen free and always be on your device, which is why before they were 3 years old, I literally kept it outside on the bookcase. Because sometimes you pick up your phone, like you draw for your phone and you don't even need to, but it becomes a habit. And I just didn't want that habit. They've never heard my phone ring. My phone is never on sound because, again, I just didn't want them primed to hear like ringing and beeping and notifications. I think it just interrupts our whole spirit, our whole energy. And I do think that in modern times, we've seen that as a completely normal thing, but I don't think it's normal at all. And I think that when we look at the data and you look at the increasing anxiety, depression, all of the things, it's very easy to say that these devices are not helping our children. But, I'm not trying to preach or anything, guys. It's only a Saturday. Keith, big up yourself, baby. Michaela, thank you very much, my darling. Queen Baroness, my name is May, and my birthday was yesterday. Big up yourself, babes. You want to name your daughter April. I hope you had an amazing birthday. It's definitely weird. If you're at someone's home, you should be present. Otherwise, stay at home. This is how I feel. Your parenting style is so top tier. It's refreshing to see a parent being a parent. Thank you very much, my darling. Oh, it scrolled up. Coming back. Did you know your parenting choices before the girls were born, or have you decided them along the way? Really great question. So there are many things that I knew, right? I did a video, I think about a week ago, saying that when you don't have children, nobody wants to hear your opinion on raising children because what do you know, right? And I used to leave space for the benefit of doubt that I don't know what it's like. And then I have children and I implement the things that I really want. So the things like no screens, and just my parenting style in terms of creating their reality. That's what I was really like cognizant of, that desire to make sure that I was making the environment one that would let them be the best version of themselves. The food, I was never going to be a big fast food person because that's not how I live my life. But I do think that the food became even more considered, like more intentional post babies. Homeschooling, I always knew that if we were in the UK, I was not going to send them to school. I think coming from Jamaica and then coming to the UK, there were just things that seemed very strange to me. So that I knew. But there's a lot that you learn along the way too. I think which is when I do like my parenting courses and coach parents, I do think that having had my own business and having to manage people was the real training for parenting. The average person doesn't have to manage teams, right? And so for a lot of people, their child is the first person that they truly have to, have complete control. You guys don't like the word control, but complete responsibility for. Whereas I think that as a business owner, as an independent business owner, where you can't throw money at the problem, right? Like you can't just keep your staff with you for money because you don't have it. I do think it trains you on how to get the best out of people. And I have used those principles of running my own restaurants, of working with people for so many years. Thankfully, people who chose to stay with me. I could never have lived out my dream in hospitality without my core team that were like my ride or die. And I do think that that has made me the mother that I am. I also think my mother leaving me has been great for mothering, in a weird way. Before having children, how did you prep yourself for raising kids? Asking as an unmarried single. Great question. I am an overthinker. I do think about who are the adults that I want in the world, right? And I work my way backwards from there. And a lot of times it comes from observation. And for many people nowadays, observing is judgmental, which I just think is bizarre. Why can it not just be observing? And also, can we just stop pretending that our brains weren't wired for judgment? Judgment does not need to be negative, right? You can judge something and still have the peace of mind and maturity to accept that you don't know the entire situation, but you can still draw a conclusion, albeit a temporary one. So if I didn't have children and I was thinking about, how to prepare, I would say really take some time to understand your current circumstances and what you would need to change with those current circumstances in order to have the outcomes that you desire. And the things that we're going to desire are going to be different from everyone, right? Like we want different things out of life, how we perceive things are different. So it's not a one size fits all by any means, but I do think that putting thought into it is going to be helpful. For example, if you told me that I was going to be homeschooling or that I was going to even have time to be a parent, I would have told you, hell no. I was at my restaurant 7 days a week. I was working most days 20-hour days. And I just could not see how children would work in that equation. And one thing I will say is that when you give yourself no other option, you will always find a way. What are your favorite books? Really great question. So my favorite book of all time is by Maya Angelou. It is called Maya, Mom and Maya. It is the reason why one of my daughters is called Maya, because I love Maya Angelou. But that book in particular really resonated with me because it showed how her mother worked to get her back in her life. So that is my favorite, one of my favorites. My favorite fiction, the first fiction that I really fell in love with and that I cried in was called Shantaram. It's a very big book, but it is also very good. I recently read, I don't know if I'd call this my favorite, but I read a book like recently in 4 days, and I would really recommend it. It is called Blue Sisters by Coco Melor. Apparently she's a famous author. I didn't know that she was a famous author. I just found the book and it was really good. So those are my 3 book recommendations at the minute. Oh, and I just finished another one a couple weeks ago called When Breath Becomes Air. Again, I wouldn't say it's a favorite, but it's definitely a good read. Hi, April. I hope you and your family are doing fantastic. At what age did you start potty training your girls? Really great question. What age? What age was that? I feel like it wasn't super early. What age? I want to say like 1.5, but don't quote me on that, babes. I can look back at pictures and tell you, but it wasn't like I wasn't one of these super early potty train your baby. Like I see some people potty training their babies from really baby. No, babes, I wasn't super early on the potty training flex. Scroll. Oh, and they were still in nappies at night until about, I want to say April of last year. They were wearing a nappy at nighttime. 18 months. That feels about right. 18 months, babes. I was with you on the 18-month flex. But yeah. Where are we at? Oh, we did that. Hi, my darling. How are you? Scrolling through April adopt. Sasha, are you asking me if I'm adopting? um, oh, have I? Do you listen to Jamaican dancehall, babes? I'm so old that the Jamaican dancehall that I listen to is from back in the day. It is not modern times. I'm very sorry. Um, Scrolling through, it jump and gone again, and now I can't find where I was. I'm very sorry. I'm trying to go back so that I don't miss what you're saying. If I do miss a comment, it's not because I'm avoiding you, it's because it's hard. So, with you being an influencer of sorts, do you think them being screen free is sustainable? I don't consider myself an influencer. I know you said of sorts, I don't really know what that means. Um, but I don't understand why it's not sustainable. They're over 5 years old and it's fine. I don't spend my time sitting on my phone. I film most of my content after they've gone to bed. There's a reason why I go to bed at 2 to 4 in the morning because my children go to bed at 8. So it's really between the hours of 7 and in the morning and 8 at night that I'm not on my phone. And so then you catch up when they go to bed. I'm not sure why that would not be sustainable. So how you mean to people for work for free? I'm confused. Who is asking anyone to work for free? Sorry, babes. I take very long to get to comments, so I don't know if I missed something that I was talking about before. Um, have you traveled to Paris? I've been to Paris several times, but not with my children. Do the kids' dad also have the same parenting style? I don't know, baby. Hi, where do you live? I don't live anywhere. Do you think it would be harder to raise children in the West? I mean, it's harder in the sense that what you want for your household might not be mirrored outside. There's a fly in here and it really annoys me. I have a thing about flies. I have to kill it. Anyway, so yeah, it's harder in the sense that indoors might not be reflected outdoors, if that makes sense. But it's not harder in the sense that I do believe that you can create your own environment. Also, when did you know that you want to have children? So I wanted to have children when I was younger. I used to always say I was going to have twins. In my dad's side of the family, we have twins in every generation. So I was like, I'm having twins, I'm having twins. When my mother left, I didn't want children again because I felt that whatever genetic issues she was having, I could potentially pass on to my children. And I didn't want to do that. And then, I don't know, the universe just had it that I was going to be able to ignore those doubts. I was doubtful throughout my entire pregnancy. And then when my children were born, I literally did not sleep for over 24 hours because I was just staring at them. I just couldn't believe that they were here. Honestly, I still stare at them and can't believe that they're here. But the point is that any of my concerns or doubts about my ability to bond with them or my likelihood of repeating said trauma just went through the window because I knew it wasn't possible. Shaz, big up yourself, baby. Hi, Miss April. I just want to say thank you for sharing with us. As a single mom who's living outside of Jamaica, you are showing me my dreams are possible. Babes, big up yourself every time. And honestly, that's the only reason why I share. I don't share because my way is the right way. I literally share just to add to the conversation and broaden the spectrum about what people perceive to be possible. So thank you very much for sharing. I got interested and subscribed to your channel because you mentioned your babies don't watch TV and don't have iPads. Will they never watch or you're just waiting? You hate flies too, right? I hate flies. They will one day watch TV. I cannot wait to watch movies with my children, right? And like bond and create those childhood memories. A lot of times when people see my content, I think they think that I am anti everything for forever. So even with food, people think that I'm anti sugar forever, even though I eat sugar. And for me, nothing is about forever, like nothing, right? It's just about their stages of development. So particularly with devices, and we see more and more of the data coming out now, but even forget the data. I think just observing children, again, just seeing how children get very attached to these devices, seeing how parents get very dependent on them. Again, going back to the restaurant industry, I would see people bring out the iPad at the dinner table before the child has even had a chance to have a tantrum. And I see parents not engaging at all with children at the table. And then people say that, oh, well, I want to enjoy my dinner too. And respectfully, why are the two things mutually exclusive? I don't understand how we became this sort of society where we look on spending quality time with our children eating as like a negative. And then people will be like, oh, well, you try having a conversation with a toddler. Yeah, have the conversation with the toddler. I don't understand. Why are people saying that their children aren't able to express themselves in a way that is interesting? My children speak all the time, like all the time. Them have stories to tell for days. And I guess going back to my own childhood, I remember learning so much at the dinner table. And I genuinely believe that when you have a device out, you are just robbing yourself of the experience of seeing your child grow and develop. And you are robbing your child of the experience of learning how to behave at a dinner table, learning how to express themselves, learning how to share. I just think it's bizarre. Being anti-sugar forever is actually ideal. But yeah, I totally get what you mean. I personally enjoy a dessert. And I do love food and a lot of recipes. For example, I used to have these honey jerk wings and they're delicious, but I love sweet and salty. So it's not something that I believe in terms of abstaining forever. However, I respect people who want to do so, and I understand medically why they want to do so. Blue Sisters is a great book. It is a great book. I agree. Oh Lord. Sorry if I'm asking too much. What age did your kids start learning French? Oh, and when did you start learning French? Great question. You're not asking too much. So my children have, I've been speaking French to them exclusively from they were born. And I started really paying attention to French again when I was pregnant. Hi, we're gonna go with LHQ. Big up yourself, baby. Scrolling back through, honestly, honestly, where are we going? We're asking as a Trini. Brie, I can't remember what the hell the question was. Oh, we did that in the West. We did the question about when did you know you wanted to have children? Jason Lynch, big up yourself, baby. It's your month. It is my month. All year round, babes. April, all year round. Wow, that's amazing. You knew you would have twins. Isn't it so funny? Friends of mine who knew me from school, they're like, oh my gosh, you always said you have twins. And to be honest with you, guys, I do tend to get everything that I want. It just never comes in the time that I want it. But we have to be grateful. We have to be grateful. I'm worried about passing on mental health to children, and I'm so scared to have them. I completely understand. And one thing I will say, if you are worried about that, the likelihood of you passing it on, I do think is less, just because you're worried about it. Once you're considering something and thinking about it, and then you put in the steps to make sure that you don't repeat it, then you have nothing to worry about. Miss Uptown, big up yourself, baby. How are you, my darling? Oh, we made it to the end. Okay, I've been on this live for over an hour. We had some technical difficulties on TikTok. YouTube, big up yourself for staying consistent on the live. I'm going to go to bed earlier than usual today. That is my gift to myself. Thank you very much for joining me. I will jump on again tomorrow. Big up yourself every time. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you. Bye, guys.